Hello, YouTube. um, I thought today on this humble Google Doc from February 13th of 2020 that I would take a look at this and yeah, I don't know how to tell when Google Docs were first made, honestly. But I really want to know because I feel like this is several years old. This is one of my first adaptable game engines I think I ever designed. This was after seeing Fate, um, the adaptable game engine Fate. I don't know. Adaptable game engine Fate. Yes, SRD. Look at them because this was my inspiration for creating this because I was like, when I watched this, I don't mean to uh, sully the crew's name or the creation of this because it is fantastically designed. When I looked at this, I actually played this after my father got it. I thought, well, this is cool, but I could make something better. And that's what I decided to do. I decided to start on that creation and design. I created Age, standing for Adaptable Game Engine. pretty pretty straightforward, honestly. I'm proud of the name. I was proud of the name, and I'm still proud of the name, honestly, because it's straightforward, to the point, creative, and it spells a word. Which is something a lot of my games don't do. But yeah, I was thinking of this as like a kind of name for my group as well. I was just having fun here with the title and everything. Character creation. We're just gonna during this video we're just gonna review what I created, and I'm going to kind of like what I would do is I'd read through this and I would see the points that I had issues with, see the points where I made mistakes back in the day, and I would change those mistakes in a different document and update it as I've done with many games before. But this game, I'm going to do it on camera. I'm going to record my reaction looking at this thing, this abomination, and we'll see how it goes. So I think back then, the goal of this was to create a simple, easy to play, adaptable game engine that allowed for the user to create any character with any ability. And Fate had things called like skills and similar things, but they were a bit obscure. This game, I wanted to design a system where a character could use points that they would gain leveling up, or that they would have set at the beginning. They could spend those points on abilities, and those points would, like certain aspects of each ability, would cost an amount of points. And they would expend their points, and that would be their character. And they could design it in any way it's want. When I first played Age, I had a sort of space game, which was the idea. I was in the setting of a space, sort of post-apocalyptic human world, space. They've met aliens and all these crazy creatures, and it was so that the people would have freedom with their decisions, so that the players would have freedom with their decisions, and so that they could pretty much choose whatever they want. And one of my favorite characters, I actually drew a picture of them if you want to check out my Instagram. But one of my favorite characters that they created was a bear with two mechanical arms who wielded two axes, one that was like cold and one that was hot. And that was the character. Now, in normal RPG games, you would have set rules and parameters that wouldn't allow you to be a bear wielding two magical, or in this case, mechanical axes. But in this game, it was possible. Um, and honestly, it was absolutely hilarious. And I'll show you. I'll get to the game. Right. Let's read it. Let's read up on it. Following describes the directions to creating the character sheet for Age. Used for the following to use the following to design and create any character you wish. The extent of Age goes only as far as your imagination. Create anything, anyone in Age simulation. Impressive younger me. Let's see if you you keep your promise. Name. Here you put the name of your character. This will be what your character identifies themselves in as in game. Creature. You may design and create your own creature, or use one from. Yes, you may design creature. You may design and create your own creature, or use one from a different RPG. Either way, it should fit the abilities you will choose to design your character with. Do not choose an unrealistic creature unless your game master permits you to do so. Abilities. You have 15 points to split among the following abilities. These abilities determine much of your character's skills and abilities. So you have 15 points to split among the following abilities. These abilities determine much of your character's skills and abilities. I repeat abilities so many times. So make sure to think about your placement of points on these abilities. Consult your game master if you do not understand the abilities, features, and skills. Now that was that's not good, because if you say consult your game master, I was referring to myself because I was the only one who knew the rules and was able to read the rules of this. Alright, blood points. Your blood points equal 10 plus blood points. Your blood points equal 10 plus half your character's fortitude. When you lose BP, you put the amount you have in your current BP slot. When doing a heroic feat, hero BP. When doing a heroic feat that may cause injury to your character gains the amount of BP equal to 5 plus your character's wisdom. Willpower. After the heroic feat is concluded, your character takes the amount of damage equal to the amount of BP they gained. This is kind of a heroic setting. It's pretty interesting. You know how, like, I based a lot of stuff off of anime I watched, honestly. You know, like, anime characters collapse after they, like, use their super powerful abilities, and, like, they gain that, like, super boost to beat the villain, and then they collapse afterwards, like, oh, I'm so tired. That's what this is, meaning to replicate. Speed. Your speed equals 10 plus your might plus your agility. Jump. Your jump equals 1 plus your might or agility. Your choice. Accuracy equals your wisdom plus your aim. Dodge. Your dodge equals half your agility. Your carry max equals your might multiplied by 25. If you're carrying more weight than half your carry max, your speed is divided by 2 until you relieve that weight. Carrying. Your carrying equals whatever amount of weight you're carrying at the time. Fighting skills. Your fighting skills amount to the following. So, as for this part, there's so many different variants and variables. It's going to, like, be really difficult to dumb down a game that I want to be complicated. But this is too jumbled even for me, honestly. I understand what it says, but I'm sure it's complete jargon to some people. Honestly, like, when the rulebook does come out of the age schematics, when I create the new age, that's what I'm gonna call it. Yes, the new age. I am going to make. I'm gonna, like, have to get rid of some of these variants, but I am going to come up with a computer program. I'm gonna have one of my programmers design it so that you can just plug in sort of like 6 abilities, and all of these will be calculated for you on that site. And there will be rules in the book to allow you to calculate it yourself. But honestly, I think, like, like that the computerized version of it will allow you to like, keep the complexity of it, but also make it easier to make characters, because doing all this calculation, let's say you have 6 players, doing all this calculation for every single one of your characters, every single one of your players, is going to take so long. And that's not something I want. I want maybe like, you know how Dungeons and Dragons has 30 minutes per character, I would say? Probably more if you're like going in depth with like backstory and similar things. I want these, like, I want the base stat abilities and that kind of stuff to be 10 minutes. I want you to be able to just jump right into the game because honestly, this whole game is just going to be a sandbox experience. I want you to be able to create things, design things. I want the players to build their world around them. I don't want the players to have to conform to a certain world. Oh my god, I want to edit this so badly, but I can't. It would be blasphemy. Alright, anyway, here are the fighting skills. Fist fighting. Half your might or half your agility, your choice. Close melee, half your agility. Long melee, half your might, half your agility, your choice. Heavy melee, half your... Oh, I remember this. This was the quote-unquote advanced combat thing. It was supposed to make combat more realistic and sort of like... I read a book. What was it called? What was it called? It was called Six of Crows. Six of Crows. Let me see if I can get that up. Six of Crows. Six of Crows. Um, Novel by Leigh Bardugo. I'm sorry if I botched that. Bardugo? Anyway, Six of Crows. Honestly, this book is so good. But the writing in it inspired me to create a fighting system because there's a lot of combat in this book and really descriptive. But when you have, like, you play Dungeons and Dragons or a similar game, you roll and you hit, and the dungeon master has to describe everything that happens. There's no like strategy to the fighting mechanic. It seems like it just takes so much away from it, and I want to keep some aspect of that. I want to keep some aspect of this fighting mechanics. I want to keep I want to keep like the variance to it, but this is so complicated. I attempted this years ago. I attempted to test this in like on people, and the fighting took so long. It was just a normal fist fight, and the fighting, honestly, it took so long. It it really was. There's an aspect too that I want to go back on. The hero BP, the hero blood points. The health, I'm gonna have a health system, but there's going to be three kinds of health systems in the game that you're capable of choosing from, which is the heroic health system. There probably should be four, but like the fourth doesn't like really matter. If your characters can't die, they can't die. They don't need to have a system for that if they can't take damage. Other than that, there is the hero, which is mass amounts of HP, mass amounts of health, and also you get more health every time you level up. Then there is like somewhat realistic, which is like you become stronger as you level up, and you're like some of your abilities that you level up affect your health and its height, and also affect like your resistance to damage and that kind of stuff. But like you can be damaged severely and it takes a while longer to heal, whereas in the hero thing it'll heal like almost instantly overnight. Like you can sleep. Like in Dungeons and Dragons, sometimes you just sleep and then you're fine. Anyway, they have a gritty realism variant in Dungeons and Dragons. I'm not like busting their chops for this, but like I find that like some most of the time I like playing in very gritty realism settings, and Dungeons and Dragons doesn't really give that for me. Second, third, we have the gritty realism, which is like, it's not like your average gritty realism. It is like you can have debilitating damage done to you where you will never recover, like multiple broken bones or like things that'll take multiple months in game time to recover, that kind of stuff. Like it'll be a health system where you will want to avoid confrontation. Also there will be three different kind of like damage systems, which will be like hero, which is like you take chunks of health away. Like almost close to realistic, which is where like you can take more damage, but you're not going to die instantaneously. And then gritty realism, where like some damage can instantaneously kill you, and like if someone shoots you, there is a chance, there's actually quite a high chance that you will die. And a lot of games do not have that anymore. Do not have that like fear aspect. And honestly, I have played so many horror games with my friends where I am just describing the settings and similar things, and they are freaking out. And it is so much fun to see, like, for them to know that they are not invincible. Especially when I just like when I have like, there's always that one person who comes on just to troll, person who joins the team just to troll and is like, yo, I'm gonna go in and fight the boss monster empty-handed or something like that. Like, just goes around, thinks they're a brute and that kind of stuff, like plays the minotaur role or whatever. And I love punishing those people. I love punishing those people in games, and gritty realism is the perfect way to do that. I can never seem to punish those barbarian minotaurs or barbarian orcs uh, as easily as I can in a gritty realism setting. Well, anyway, I ranted. We have so basically how the system worked was when fist fighting, when having like or fist fighting your close melee, you were had a disadvantage to long melee weapons, and you had, but like you could also move to a closer position. So like there'd be two positions. There's three positions, sorry. There's mid, close, and far. Close allows close melee to have the advantage and long melee to have disadvantage. Far has long melee to have the advantage and close melee to have disadvantage. And mid, they're both even. So you could take like a part of your action to step away or closer to your enemy, and this would change kind of the rules of combat for that part. Or you could choose to like get an extra attack in. So it's like, honestly, it's an interesting game mechanic, and it's pretty cool um if you want to have a realistic fight with like really in-depth movement, and they like the players have to choose where they're standing and make decisions based off like chance and that kind of stuff. It's pretty fun. But you have like, I'm not going to be using this in the new game due to how complicated it is. I just wanted to explain somewhat like what the idea was for like any game designers who are interested. Maybe they can improve on it and make it simpler and more easily accessible. Block. So block is one of the actions you can take as well, and you can use that action to block half your might or half your fortitude, your choice. Armor, and so this is this is where it gets really interesting, because this took so long to make these armor. Oh, these armor charts. I had to. So this is the. Sorry, this is the thing. You'll see so many charts like this from me, where it's just names, because like this is the customizable part that I was trying to add. Like, you want adamantium? Indestructible. You want some sort of godlike armor? Otherworldly. Is like the weight. His weight was a big factor in this, so people couldn't have too much stuff. Base armor. Speed minus. And so, as you can see, armor had a huge effect. I think this was like a d6 roll. I wasn't using die 20s or anything like that, so I had to use really small numbers. And sorry, if you can see, if you can see, there is also multipliers to what kind of thing it is. So every time a player had changed their chest plate or that kind of stuff, I had to do the math and put it. I had to do the math And oh my gosh, in this situation, I would have just like I should have just written out for each and every one of these. I should have put another thing underneath it and said how much each of these were. It's just a terrible layout. It's a terrible layout for a rule book. Only I am going to go through the effort to do this. Only someone like me. Someone who actually likes to do math. No one else is going to do this crap. Again, I am going to make a like an online sort of generator where you could put in a weak chest plate or something like that, and it'll generate how much armor you have. Or you could like there'll be sections basically of like chest helmet, chest plate, gloves, leggings, boots, and then you put in what kind of thing they're wearing, and then you see how much armor they have overall. That could be a thing I do. I don't know what my armor system is going to be due to the fact that I'm probably going to be using larger dice. So I might just be able to um I might just be able to make it more like better. That is also an option. That is also an option. Magical items can enhance a certain aspect of armor given wear special effects. For example, a +5 chest plate of heaviness could have +5 pounds of weight. That is interesting. Or if you want to be cliche, an armor of protection +1 could give +1 to the armor to the wearer. Honestly, +1 armor to the wearer is overpower in this setting because I think what happened here is like you would have to like if you had a secure armor on, let's say, and then you had all of this, so it's like one just to make it easy. Armor mod 1, 3, 6, 7, 8. So you'd have 8 armor, and since it was D6, they'd have to roll a die 6 and add whatever bonuses they had to it, and get over 8 to be able to. So it's like it was quite powerful. It's quite powerful. All right, weapons. Yes, the weapon designs. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Look at this. Due to the fact, oh my gosh, due to the fact that I'm sorry, I can't just like look at this. I had to develop the weapons based on my combat system, which is never a good thing. You want weapons to be independent from a combat system. You want like you don't want them to be variant for your combat system, or else like every single time